Hello, so this is the part where I will talk about my keto journey intersecting my mental health. I've been on a ketogenic diet on and off for about 15-16 months. I did it just because a friend suggested it or introduced me to it, and I thought, hey, I'll just try it. And so I started in January 2024. And at the time, I was taking four mental health medications, a tranquilizer, a low-dose tranquilizer, antidepressant, and 2 mood stabilizers. And I've been on the same dose and the same 4 medications for almost about 20 years. So I was also very stable on them. I didn't have any major issues. I was able to work full-time from home, and I just tried the keto journey. And the only thing that bothered me sometimes was when I had a stressful time at work, I could sometimes get chest pain and heart palpitations, and it wasn't kind of heart attack chest pain. It was just the muscles on my heart being contracting or being kind of tight, and heart palpitations, like skipping heartbeats, that would be very annoying and would sometimes bother me falling asleep. So that was happening every couple of weeks or days when I did have stress at work. Otherwise, I was stable. And then in September, I wanted to try to test the diet. I had done a lot of research and reading online, websites like metabolicmind.org and others. I had followed some people who had been able to get off all their psychiatric meds because of the ketogenic diet, so I knew it was possible. And even though I didn't have major symptoms, I thought, I want to test this diet. It's not easy to be on a ketogenic diet, and I just wanted to see some benefits. So I looked around, and I live in Ontario, and there is Ontario, Canada, and it's almost impossible to find anybody who can be a keto coach, and even less so a keto person who knows about reducing psychiatric medication. And if you find someone online, they will charge you an arm and a leg, and I couldn't. So I made the decision, and I knew it was contrary to what everybody said online, but I made the decision to do it on my own. And I know that I'm a person that's very sleep dependent, so if I don't sleep well, chances are I will get stressed and irritable. And in certain circumstances, I may be getting hypomanic, which I hadn't been in 20 years, but the danger was still there. So there were definitely risks, but I knew that if I do sleep well, chances are that my mental health will be well too. So this was my only way of gauging my journey. I would check if I sleep well. And I decided to also reduce the medication very, very slowly. And of course, never changing more than one medication at once. So I started in September 2024, reducing one of my antipsychotics, which was at 700 milligrams. And my plan was, and I pretty much stuck to that, to reduce 50 milligrams every 2 weeks. So this has been like 7 months ago. And it went okay, and when I look back, I did sleep not so well for a couple of days, and then my body would adjust. So that is one way of knowing that it's a withdrawal effect. it's not necessarily that symptoms are coming back because your body is adjusting and you're sleeping well. And I did that until I got it to about 300 milligrams around January, and I realized it was getting harder. And it's very interesting because 300 milligrams is the threshold for mood stabilization. Anything below there doesn't stabilize your mood anymore. It might still make you calmer, but that's about it. And I went down, then switched to an increments of 25 milligrams. And when I was on 225 milligrams, we went on vacation to Cuba, and that tanked my plan. I have to say that by January, I believe, I had the privilege of having my family doctor, who knows nothing about keto and nothing about keto and mental health, but he agreed. I asked him if he could monitor my journey, and he said yes. I had the privilege of having someone willing to see me on a monthly basis, more or less, keeping an eye out, writing down how much I'm taking or how I'm feeling. And so I was ecstatic because now I was under supervision, even though it's not that professional, if I can say that. Very nice man though. And then, 2 weeks of Cuba killed my ketosis. I was out. Having said that, I did at some point use an arm monitor. They are amazing, but I found like during the day it fluctuates so much, the ketone level. It wasn't that encouraging. Then I also had used the monitor where you prick yourself. Used that sometimes. Then I got one where you do a breathalyzer test. Now those are the cheapest. By now I pretty much know that I'm in ketosis just by what I'm eating, and sometimes I check it. I don't necessarily check it on a daily basis. But in Cuba they have the best guavas ever, and I am still a fructose addict. People say that your desire for sugar goes away on the keto diet. Oh, no, not for me. I really miss fruit. When I go buy fruit at the store for my husband, I can't look at the guavas. But in Cuba, it all went down the drain. And lo and behold, I couldn't sleep properly. I had to increase my antipsychotic from 225 to up to 400 on the last day just to sleep. And that means a lot to me in a way, because it shows you that the diet works. I went straight back into ketosis. I fasted for 1 day when we came back, or before we came back. Within 3 or 4 days, I was back in ketosis. And so my brain was, excuse me, my brain was running on ketones again. And for mental health, the brain loves ketones. And so I was back on that, and I was starting at 275 milligrams, and I'm now back on 225. And to be honest, it's not easy. I have been on this dose for over 2 weeks now, and had really, really difficulties with sleeping. Not that I'm not sleeping, but I was so tired during the day, which means that I'm sleeping very lightly. And I have compounded issue. I've had extreme dry eye disease for about 3 years, probably because of menopause. And I also have extreme thirst. Not sure if it's because of my kidneys. I had a kidney failure about 25 years ago, or 20 years ago, and so I've always had slow kidneys, but that's another issue that has miraculously improved just recently, also due to the ketogenic diet. So anyway, so I have issues at night with drinking too much water and having to get up a lot to the washroom, and also probably sleeping lighter. And I also don't close my eyes properly when I sleep, which means they dry out. And so the lighter I sleep, I'm thinking that my eyes are not closing properly, even less. So how should I say that? They're just worse at closing properly. And so 2 days ago, my husband, because the specialist told me to tape my eyes closed, and I really can't sleep like that. And my husband suggested, why don't you just get an eye mask? And I did that. I got a normal soft eye mask from Amazon. And I've put that on the last 2 nights, and oh my goodness, I used to have to put in eye drops 2 or 3 times during the night. During the day, I'm really good with my dry eyes now. I finally found a drop that works like a dream. But at night, obviously my eyes were drying out, and this eye mask has helped so much. First night I didn't put in any eye drops. Last night I put in eye drops once, I think. Unbelievable. And that obviously increased the quality of my sleep. And I also noticed that last night, again, I tried this. I drink a lot before I fall asleep, which is kind of counterintuitive. I drink a lot. I drink like 3/4 liter of water before I go to sleep, and it actually helps me. I'll wake up once. I do still wake up, but it doesn't bother me that much. So anyway, I had 2 good nights of sleep with this regimen of wearing an eye mask and actually drinking a lot before I fall asleep, and then not feeling so thirsty during the night, so I can get away with taking 1 sip or 2 sips. It's really hard to go to sleep, back to sleep when you're feeling thirsty. It's really hard. So so that's where I'm at. I'm going to keep going for another couple of nights to make sure I'm sleeping well before I reduce to 200 milligrams. What else? I guess that's all for now, and I'll let you know how it goes. Actually, no, I can just mention the kidneys. My kidneys, oh my gosh, they were like at about 100, creatinine 100, I think it's millimole, I'm not sure. And this was like after the acute kidney failure 20 years ago. They stayed at 100, 120 for many years, which is slightly high. And then over the last couple of years, then they went up to 140, stayed there over the last years, and then last year they went up to 160, which was concerning. And the last time I had them measured a few weeks ago, my creatinine is down to 116. It's unbelievable. And I've been debating, is it the decrease in Seroquel, my antipsychotic, or is it the ketogenic diet? And the more I read, the more obviously it is the diet. The antipsychotic I'm on is not really affecting kidneys, it affects the liver much, much more. So I am so excited that my kidneys are basically as good as they were 20 years ago. Do not believe the things that necessarily that people say about kidneys and ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet is not high in protein, it's moderate in protein. So I eat 70 grams of, I'm aiming to eat 70 grams of protein, about 160 grams of fat, and 20 net carbs. This is my goal. I never really make it like 100%, but I do track my macros. I do still write them down almost every day. I take a lot of MCT oil. Every time I have tea or coffee, I put a tablespoon of that in there. That helps a lot to increase your fat. It's hard to eat a lot of fat, I find. It's really hard, but avocados are fantastic for that matter. Salads with avocados and tuna or chicken. I don't miss pasta and rice and potatoes. I mean, seriously, that you're just eating them for texture. They have no flavor at all. If you ask me, they're pretty bland. So this is where I'm at now. It is almost April 2025. I will update you about how my journey goes. I have to say as a disclaimer, I keep forgetting to do that at the beginning, so I'll do it at the end. I'm certainly not a doctor. I'm certainly not telling you what to do, and I'm certainly not telling you to use the same regimen of reduction that I used or to do it alone. I'm not telling you to do it. I told you what I've done, and I am under supervision now. I do have a psychiatrist as well that I see very seldom, like maybe every half a year or so, because I'm so stable. What else can I say? This is just the way that life happened with me and to me, and I will tell you more in another video. Bye-bye.